Hello, and welcome to Style Scientist, where we explore common design problems under a microscope. I'm Kiva Brent. Does your home look messy, but you can't figure out why? Well, then today's episode of Style Scientist is for you. There are a few design mistakes you may be making that are making your home look messy, even though you clean it all of the time. Let's get into today's episode. The first reason why your home looks messy is because you have open shelving. It's really easy to over-clutter those shelves, right? How many things do we put up on the shelf and we end up putting so many vases and bowls and decorative accents on a shelf, it literally just becomes so messy. The first way to remedy the cluttered look of your open shelves is to actually add decorative boxes. Decorative boxes are great because they can hide a lot of your stuff. Sometimes we just have to have certain things in certain rooms. So if you take those decorative accents or those papers and you put them in the boxes, it is a cleaner way to display your decor. If you have open shelving in your kitchen, maybe consider reserving those open shelves for your special dishes. This means that we're not going to be touching these things all the time and we do not have to keep up with the styling. We just have to give them a good wash and a dust occasionally, but then everything can be beautifully laid out all of the time. Tuck the things you use every single day in your clothes cabinetry. This is something that's going to take you very far when it comes to design. The next reason why your home may look messy is because all of your carpets are shag carpets. So I'm not knocking the shag carpets, they have a place and I love the look. But because they are so busy in terms of texture, they can make your space look really messy. Shag carpets tend to actually obscure the legs of your furniture, so everything just looks kind of lost in an abyss, right? It doesn't look as clean as defined as we may enjoy. I want you to start using these rugs in places that are oversized. A good example would be in your basement, right? Because basements don't tend to have a lot of furniture. Maybe you just have a sectional and a chair down there. What I want you to do is put the shag carpet there. There isn't too much furniture for the rug to compete with. So if it has a lot of pattern and color, that's okay, right? There is space for it to shine and it's not shrinking the space and making it look really small and messy. Put it in low traffic rooms and rooms that you don't eat in. That is going to be your best bet for keeping these wonderful rugs in your home without making your home look messy. The next reason why your home may look a bit messy is because there are too many mirrors. I know you're probably saying, hey Kiva, are you sure about this one? So mirrors are fantastic tools because they reflect light, right? And they make spaces appear larger because they reflect empty spaces. That being said, when you aren't strategic with your mirror placement, you start reflecting things that are cluttered. So maybe don't place a mirror right in front of your hamper or right across from your desk, right? Because that's where we tend to have a lot of clutter. Instead, put it in places that we want to make look larger and places that tend to be extremely tidy. The caveat to this tip is that there are some places in which having tons of mirrors actually works wonderfully. Examples of this include bathrooms and hallways. In hallways, especially, mirrors hold so much power because, as I said earlier, they reflect light and make a space look more massive. So in general, just be strategic with your placement and you should be good to go. The next reason why your home may look a bit messy is because there isn't enough lighting. Lighting is everything when it comes to design. If a space does not have enough lighting, a shadow may be cast, and when there's a shadow, a space appears smaller. The way we're going to remedy this is just to add more lighting, right? So floor lamps, task lamps, table lamps, overhead lighting, we want to add as much lighting as possible to our spaces. One of my favorite ways to actually add lighting in a room is to add a sconce, because sconces not only add lighting, but they're also a form of wall decor. So they're a twofer, and there's nothing better than that. When you're selecting task lamps and floor lamps, make sure to choose lamps that have really small bases that can fit underneath your furniture. That way they're not taking up any of your precious floor space because that would be creating clutter. This will go a long way in making your space look brighter and not smaller. The next reason why your home looks messy is due to the fact that you are overstyling. When we're dealing with our coffee tables, bookcases, consoles, pretty much any surface, overstyling means we're putting more objects on that table than we can visually handle, right? If there's no empty space or there's no defined grouping, we don't really know where to look. So what do we do about this? Well, first we're going to start following the rule of 3. This means we just want to group things in sets of 3 or multiples of 3 because that is what is most visually appealing. The next way we're going to remedy this is we're just going to allow for some empty space. Yes, we need empty space in design. If everything is super cluttered, we have no idea where to look and we just don't end up looking anywhere. You're spending all of this time making your home look beautiful. Make sure that we can stop and appreciate it. The next way to prevent overstyling is to cycle through your decor, and this is the best tip I can give for this. There are 365 days in a year, and there's enough time for all of your decor to be out on display. So just remember that you can put things up at different times, and this will really help with your overstyling. The next reason why your home looks messy is due to the fact that your curtains are too long. When your curtains are too long, they puddle on the floor and they look like a pile of laundry, and that is never the look that we're going for. The other problem with your curtains being too long is that they gather so much dust and debris, so much of it you just kind of have like a mountain of dust bunnies, and that is literal mess. The solution to this is to hang your curtains a little bit higher. You just want your curtains to just kiss the floor, right? So they're barely touching the floor, but they are touching the floor. They're not above the baseboards and they're not puddling on the floor. It is a happy medium. Another way to shorten your pre-existing curtains is to use some hem tape. Hem tape is fantastic because even if you don't know how to sew, you can shorten your curtains. Basically, what you do is you get this tape and you iron it onto your curtains and you're able to hem them so that they aren't pooling on the floor anymore. Last but not least, don't forget about curtain tiebacks. While this does not necessarily shorten your curtains, it does decrease the amount of space that they are pooling on the floor. So if you really like that look and you can't part with it, this is a way to kind of mitigate some of that dust and debris that makes your space look super messy. Now it's time to say goodbye to a messy home. You now know several ways to declutter your space. What tips are you going to apply? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to hit subscribe so that you can catch the next episode of Style Scientist. I'll see you next time.